Trump wants to be a trader while doing the president's job. But the issue is that India has been able to diversify over a period of time. And it has been able to bring in countries like France and Israel. Why do we still continue to have more armament from Russia? Is it the price? Or is it the fact that there's a technology transfer? Or it's a historical legacy? And the second question to you, sir, is, I know America is cribbing, but the Americans were the one who were supplying weapons to our enemies for last 50 years. And Russians were giving weapons to us when we required them.
Thank you, Karthik. At the very outset, our relationship with Russia is time-tested, number one. Number two, Russia and India have enjoyed a very fine relationship when it comes to strategy, and it has stood the test of time, be it in the 65 war, be it in the 71 war, and be it subsequently with the strategic treaty that we had signed with Russia. Russia, despite even earlier times when we didn't have that kind of cash, there was a lot of barter systems that existed between India and Russia. And time immemorial, Russia has stood with India, irrespective of whatever it be so. America, on the contrary, like what you rightly said, Pakistan being a member of the CETO and the CENTO, has continuously been equipping Pakistan. America still continues to equip Pakistan, irrespective of what Pakistan stands for today. Pakistan is using terrorism as an instrument of state policy. Pakistan had Osama bin Laden with them, and who is none other than the United States of America, killing him not very far from the military academy. In that context, and at a time when we were looking at Aegis Mark 1A, looking at G404 engines to be coming, it has already delayed. So it isn't that America is, and to say at all times, I greatly admire the Commerce Secretary listening to me saying that, look, if you take anything and everything from Russia or anything from Russia, you aren't being good friends to us. It doesn't mean that America expects that everything to be dealt. For us to prove our friendship, we must deal only with America. And what does America do with us? Give $1.2 billion in the morning of the 10th of June as part of IMF to Pakistan. What does America do thereafter to World Bank with $40 billion for the next 10 years to Pakistan? Not that we are against it. If Pakistan was to use that money in its own economic upliftment, by all means, yes. Pakistan is not doing so. Even before the $1.2 billion we put on the table, we give 14 crores. Pakistan gives out of it to family.
But
so what does that show?
But is it correct, sir? Is it also correct that there's also a price difference between the American armament and the Russian armament? The sort of the pricing of the American armament is exorbitant.
See, at times, I would say that still Soviet Union, the prices were all negotiable. It was a different thing. After the Soviet Union, Russia, well, one of the things that I do not mind is Vikramaditya. Vikramaditya came virtually a free gift to us, but we spent, how much? $1.3 billion. The Russians also went the way of wanting to make money in all these deals, and rightly so, because now they had the technology. Irrespective of that, I would say irrespective of that, the Russian technology suits us. There is no denying the fact. We feel quite comfortable using the Russian technology. The transfer of technology is far more simpler and easier to absorb, understand, and start manufacturing. Even in the fifth and the sixth generation aircraft, the Russians are willing to go along with India. If you were to go for F-35A, you would probably have a very expensive aircraft, and it's very difficult then to have no transfer. You see, in terms of Rafale, how certain things would not be given to us. It doesn't actually happen with Russia. So there is a lot of understanding between India and Russia in terms of defense and military deals, and we've been comfortable with it. That is why, though from 55%, we may have come down to 38%. We may have a larger basket in dealing with France.
General Kulkarni, a lot of people would say that you have those maintenance and supply chain issues. Is it correct with the Russians?
Yes, there is. Now of late there could be, because obviously Russia has been with in a conflict, I would say special military operations or war with Ukraine for the last 3 years, and the 5 columns of the F-400 which were to come, 3 could be delivered, 2 would be delivered. Obviously there'll be a little bit because the nation itself is under pressure. But despite that, I would still go by there is some kind of a affinity with the Russians that the Indians have, and Indians seem to be feeling more comfortable dealing with Russia. To say that it is now coming at a cheaper rate, not so much, but definitely a competitive rate with the Russians are concerned. But with America, sometimes to be able to say that you scratch my back, I may or may not scratch yours, is not something which would be very difficult to deal with America and all issues. That